Hello and welcome to Tarot and Tea. I am Jennifer Halliburton, aka the Awakened Jen, and I'm here with my friend Hope from Ascending Life. And I was just telling her this feels like the first day of school all over again because we have not done this in a while. And so I was talking to her before we got started about like we've kind of got to bridge like the gap from where we were here the last time in October as to,
Mhm.
where we're at now because a lot has happened. So I'm going to turn it over to Hope and just kind of let you kind of like
Uh,
what happened?
oh my goodness. First, everybody, welcome. Thank you so much. Jen and I, we love doing these so much. And again, we were speaking about just how fun this is, just to connect, get kind of plugged back in with each other and with the community. So we are very grateful. And oh my goodness, about this October to February time, we had said, hey, going to be a lot of clearing energies, a lot is going to be going on. And for me, I'm just kind of like putting it in this category of like a giant reset. So much of who we used to be, the way we do things, we either cleared it out our own self, or our own life did that. The universe moved us in such a way. And then here we are, moving, February 17th, the fire horse, big energies. And then February 20, massive shift. And then, we're going to be focusing a little bit, perhaps in a little bit more detail about March, just to check in with you guys and see how you're doing and what you're going through, what you've noticed. Because we're in eclipse season and there's a moving into an equinox. The universe is not, she's not playing around. She's very serious right now. And so Jen, did you have kind of any themes or anything you wanted to throw in there about whether it was fire horse energy or that Uranus, Saturn, and Aries thing,
We
or
have just
oh,
so much. And so you were talking about just all of that. We've got the Mercury retrograde. I believe today Jupiter went direct. And so there's just huge energy that just came with that. We've got, the lunar eclipse that happened on the 3rd. We've got the equinox coming up. I mean, it's like if you're feeling kind of moved around by the energy, it makes sense. And so when you really see, just like I said earlier, the constellation that's happening around us right now, I mean, it doesn't it makes sense why everything has felt just so chaotic. But I think the biggest thing that I have felt was that shift of the Neptune and Saturn from Pisces into Aries. Like I was very relieved as a Pisces, and I know you're a Pisces too, to get out of that intense energy. But I mean, it's something that hit all of us because those planets are, the outer planets. So they're generational planets that are hitting everyone through this energy. And so everybody had to have felt a shift. And so I had a question for the audience of if you had to describe the energy of the last few months in just one word, what would it be? So, like, what word would you choose over the last few months? And I mean, intense is one for sure. Um, I mean, just whirlwind, maybe another one. What
oh
some
God,
words that you
yeah.
might have just to describe this energy?
Transformation, transmutation, um, like extra sensory, like my intuition got even sharper, clearer, more sensitive. And so that in and of itself brings whole different levels of growth because then you got to learn how to work that, because you still have to go to the grocery store, you still have to do your life. And so what would you say, Jen, that just in general, since that October time when we went through this big old reset, did how was your intuition? Do you feel like you got a little bit more clear, more sensitive?
So I'll tell you, in October, it actually kind of felt like it got foggy for a little bit. And so that was like a cue to me. You need to kind of pull back. And so instead of like pushing it out and trying to push myself through the energy, I had to pull back and just kind of like recenter myself again, because I don't like, doing any type of readings for other people when I don't feel completely grounded in my own energy first. And so like it just became a take care of me kind of time frame. And like the word I think I really would use for the time frame is integration, because we had worked through so many, huge karmic cycles. And I mean, we were clearing out a whole lot of energy last year, especially the feminines. And so I think that that pause was intentional to make sure that you really took it in. And like I was saying before, like what I'm sensing from a lot of people is like you're getting a lot of the same lessons that you've had over and over. And it may make you feel like, well, maybe I didn't get as far as this healing as I thought I did. But really, it's like the fact that you're noticing it, that's the first sign of the healing, right there, is that you noticed it. You're not getting as far down the path as you might have done before. And so I think that that's what this energy has given the time for, is to be able to integrate all of these things that we've been working through. And it's like, it is giving you opportunities. It's not tests. It's just like they're already in the environment anyways. But how are you showing up differently? What did you actually learn through all of this? So,
oh gosh, as you're saying all of this, one of the things that really popped out for me as well is so many of us are like the change agents in our family, whether it's the black sheep or just the one that's a little different than the others. And
different.
right, or yes. And what that does though is it's like, well, if that's you, if that resonates, and I bet it does, you're the person doing the ancestral clearing. You're the person where all the family patterns stops with you. And that kicked into a whole different gear. And I think that's also why some of these growths that we're so darn tired of working are coming up again, because you're clearing it for the ancestry. You're clearing it for the DNA. And depending on what that is, that could go back hundreds or even thousands of years. That so intense, right? You go, yes, it's that transformative, that intense. And then we're bombarded with different astrological cosmic activity to integrate new keys and codes at the same time. And I'm like, boy, you guys put a whole new facet to walking and chewing gum at the same time. As I'm trying to clear what has been, I'm also trying to integrate things that no human has ever been tasked with before, and so this and okay, so we're sitting here in March, and it feels like it should be the second or third week of January. Right. I mean, right, and
it doesn't even make sense, because I think I said this earlier about every week feels like it's just a whole nother timeline collapsing on us right now, and it's just a whole life is being lived like so quickly right now, and it's hard to keep up.
What you just said is, I was talking to one of the guides like a week or two ago or something about this very thing, about like, oh my God, that was another timeline collapse. And because you can feel yourself like sometimes just being picked up out of one and moved into another. It's so visceral. And they go, yeah, that is you, like living a life like that every time you sense a timeline collapsing, you can think about that as a whole lifetime just getting cleared and cleansed. And also, as far as like soul retrieval goes, or integration into wholeness, right, into a higher version of you, that's what's happening. And like for me, I think that's why sometimes I am so darn tired.
Well, it's exactly why we're so tired.
right I mean,
a lot of work. And so when you feel that timeline collapsing, I mean, so there's a sense of grief that's coming with this. So I think that we are carrying a lot of collective grief, as like because I mean, it's the end of an era. And I mean, that's that's big, and you've got to let that kind of sink in before you're ready to move to the next era. And so even if it was something that didn't feel good, it's the end of something, and you've got to process through that. And so I think that's why we've been kind of in like an intentional pause, and I don't feel like it was just us. I feel like collectively we've been just kind of in a very slowed down, like, okay, time sped up, but like what we feel like we're supposed to be doing slowed down. I don't think that we are where in our heads we think that we were supposed to be right now. And that's like what's messing us up. Kind of getting back into that, being okay with where we're at. We're not off path, like being okay with what is. And like that's a big lesson I think that a lot of us are learning right now, is just being okay
You
with
know,
just things being right here. You know, you have everything that you need right now, even if it's not exactly the vision that you had, the full vision. It doesn't mean you're off path. It just means this is where you're at right now. This is the part of the path you're in right here. But it's
it,
the hard part.
what you just said really hit me like right between the eyes. I even wrote it down because I think I think that, you know, for everybody who knows about manifestation and intention and has, you know, over time gotten pretty okay with it. You know, most people who are awake and if you're watching this, that's definitely you. We understand how to manifest. Sometimes we're a little better at it than others, you know, but one of the things that I think for us as a collective is it doesn't look how we thought it would.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. And then it's so hard sometimes for me to not make that wrong. Like, well, right, it's supposed to be like this, or I thought a healed state would look like this, or a more intuitive state, connected state would look like that. And they go, yeah, that's when does it ever look the way you thought though?
Something that we've never experienced, but we like, no, this is how it's supposed to look.
And I get real attached to that, right? And then I gotta go, oh girl, you gotta let go.
So I think that that's why one of the big lessons is, you know, just the being okay with where you're at, and that like just because it doesn't look exactly the way you thought it was going to look doesn't mean that it's wrong. So that's a hard one.
It's so true too. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Whew, yes. And so the lunar eclipse, right? Eclipse season, the lunar eclipse was on the 3rd of March, and it was in Virgo, right? So super detail oriented type thing. And in my little notes about that day, it was like a detox of really, really committing to letting go and leaving the past in the past. You know, and is that what you got for kind of like general themes about that eclipse?
The eclipse energy. So I've got purification, clarity, truth surfacing, and anxiety patterns dissolving. I felt to me, it was also very connected with relationships as well. I felt like it was like really what's working and what isn't in relationships, and like cleaning that piece up. The question I had is, did anyone have anything, you know, fully released with that eclipse? So like what kinds of things came through, you know, that were shocking, you know. And I mean, I had some things that I don't want to say personally, you
Yeah.
know, out, but I mean, that were definitely within an hour, you know, there were news came in that was just like, oh,
Yeah.
wow, okay, this is serious. And so like, what did you experience with that energy?
Oh gosh. Again, something kind of trippy, and I was telling you a little bit about it earlier, just with a different level of sensitivity. I want to call it, but it just being aware of things that were in my auric field that were there for a long time, but I never perceived them before for whatever reason. You know, we don't know what order we're going to heal or be aware of things. You know, things just pop in and then we tend to go to work, right? And just whether it was other people's energy in my field that had been there for a while and I didn't realize it. And then, oh my goodness, you know, other people's energy, other little little things, right? Whether it's just little hangers on, whether it be different spirits, different people, whatever it was. And I was like, whoa. And just to be real honest about it and vulnerable, it kind of made me question myself, like, how could you not know that was in your field? And I'm like, well, because, and then the other part of me is like, because it wasn't time to heal it.
Yeah.
It's only when it's time, and I don't run that timeline. That's a whole divine timing thing. And so, wherever we are in our Akashic healing, whatever that looks like, this increased type of intuitive perception, I think, is calling us into, whether it's greater kind of spiritual hygiene, or just like, wow, I need to take care of my energy a little bit differently. Or for me, it made me go back to some of the basic tools of protection that that had become so just so routine to me, that I didn't give it the kind of care and attention, perhaps, that on this level of ascension is required. Just to, like you said, when you're doing readings or any level of intuitive work, you want to make sure your energy is on point. And I think that we're all getting kind of called up into a higher um, uh, purification state, in our energy, especially as the world looks increasingly not that. That was one of the big kind of detoxes, I think, that happened for me around that timing, that was like, okay, I'm paying attention now. That I don't like that.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, we are probably harder on ourselves about, like,
Yes.
because of the work that we do, we feel like that we're supposed to be, the healed version, but none of us are the healed version. All of us are, somewhere on that same line.
You
And
got it.
um I mean, so like I know because I think that's what hit me so hard in October, is when I was not feeling the clarity like that I typically, like, because I mean,
Yeah.
like when you're tapped in, you know what that feels like.
Yes.
And so when it felt like there was some fuzziness to that, it was like, what am I doing wrong? What did I do wrong? And like it went into this self, like, but that it wasn't even that. It was just like you're being called to just kind of like
That's
pull
it.
back, protect yourself. And
That's it. And
because I had put my energy out, so much, and I hadn't had, like you said, the good protection
yeah.
around all of that.
And and I'm kind of laughing just because, isn't this the way, like, oh, this lesson's up again, you know? Right? It wasn't the first time. It wasn't probably even the 50th.
No, it's not.
and and what I this is what I love is, no matter, if you woke up yesterday or if you've been awake 18 lifetimes, it's what we're all in it together. We really are. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so it was a big full moon eclipse, right? Shedding that beautiful moonlight, that bright white, into any shadows that were ready for release. Oh my goodness. And I want to, Jen, you said something. I'm going back in the comments because you said, what was that word for
Yeah.
people, you know? And oh gosh, it looks like Miss Deborah here. She's been doing a lot of shadow work since late summer 2024. Oh, that shadow work. Right on, right on. It is big. It is big work to keep up with that shadow work. And again, your own shadow work, that of your ancestry sometimes, and some of us even have like spiritual contracts or service work with our geography, our community, maybe where we work. We are in so many different levels of service to each other, to the earth, to the divine. And I honestly think sometimes when I'm really tired for no good reason, I think, God, my spirit must be really cooking today because I'm tired. And I bet some of you guys have that experience too. Oh my goodness. Ah, yes. So, Jenn, here I am asking you all these little questions. So we talked a little bit about that full moon that happened on the 3rd. And so coming up on the 19th, depending on time zones, it could be the 18th. We have a new moon at Pisces at 28 degrees. And in my little notes, I have expect surprises. Now, we're all like, part of me is like, oh God, brace for impact surprises, But I really think for a lot of us, after all the beautiful healing, shadow work, different purging, taking those sacred pauses, like you said, I had to go in and I had to just do me for a minute, I really think that Saturn will reward us. Give us a little cookie, right? Give us a little treat for a lot of the shadow work. So I wrote down positive surprises, just to say, hey, we know you felt maybe lost in a desert, lost in the woods somewhere. Expect the tide has already turned, and energy flips a lot faster than physical matter. And I really think this new moon in Pisces at that beautiful 28 degrees, which is so close, right to the very end, we're going to start to see a lot of sunlight. What do you think? Like, have you gotten
Oh,
a
I
similar
definitely.
message?
So I
Yeah.
haven't been plugged in on the moon as much as what you just, but that 321 has been on my radar at least since October. I mean, so that is the equinox energy.
Yeah.
But it's also, to me, like that's the moment. And you mentioned the Saturn reward, and that's exactly what I've been feeling with it for so long, because I knew that, like, okay, Saturn energy was just closing up, but it's like you've got a few weeks from that it's still sort of like you're in the shadow of it. It's still kind of clearing out. And then that lined right up with that 3-2-1 takeoff energy that I'm feeling. And so I do think that, okay, we're going to experience it in different ways depending on, did you do the work? What is your alignment? And okay, we've spent this time in integration. You're being given opportunities right now to see, did you actually learn? So if you have the opportunity show up again and you choose differently, that opens up. Like that's what, or else you're just kind of repeating the same cycle. You just step right, and those cycles get harder and tighter. Just like it. I mean, it comes around a lot quicker. So
As far as like it feels, and I'd love to hear from you and what anybody thinks about this. For me, it feels like any kind of grace space on that is kind of done.
it is,
Like,
yeah.
oh, okay. Well, you know what? We got to hit the reset button and take it through the cycle even faster and faster and faster and faster. You might see it 5 times in one day until, you're finally kind of awoken or shaken enough where you go, whoa, I got to stop. Or I'm not doing that again, or whether I'm not talking to that person again, or I'm not going to that place again, or I'm not thinking these kinds of thoughts again. I'm not going to let myself do that. It kind of feels like that's complete. Is
Yeah.
that
That
is
is
that what you're
exactly,
getting?
that is exactly. It's just like there's no
Mm-mm.
space for it anymore. You've already been through too many like opportunities. So it's either you learned it or you didn't. And if you didn't, it's just like I mean, right there.
Well,
I
it's like,
felt it many times.
oh, yeah. Any of you guys that identify as being an old soul, you know, we think, oh, old soul, so wise, and it's like, or it took me that long to get it, Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
A lot of times.
And when we were getting caught up before we jumped on the live today, you said, "Oh, that's right," and Mercury coming out of retrograde around that equinox time, and that's also the day that the sun moves into Aries. Aries is, of course, the beginning. Aries is me, myself, and I. A lot of I stuff, and super fiery, super charge forward. And when I was meditating just on the general energy of the month, the guides were saying, "Oh, that's when things really pick up. Like we're really going to pick the pace up." And I thought, wait a minute. You mean January was like yesterday, and things haven't sped up yet? And they go, "Oh, not really.
Ugh.
Like April is going to come in like Aries. It's going to, I think there's like, this is like moving into April. I think there's like 8 or 9 planets in Aries, which is like unheard of or something. And they go, oh, and then the fire horse energy, they go, oh no, we've been slowly just kind of gathering some momentum. And then after that, like just buckle up for timeline collapse and massive epiphanies, intuitive stuff, manifestations. The pace is going to pick up." And I was like, oh, okay. And it was Archangel Michael. And then he said, "Hey, you know what? This is going to be good for you, just to kind of surf these waves a little bit, and know that if you are in any discomfort or unhappiness, or you're in some sticky energy that's a little tricky, it's going to clear really fast. Like it's going to clear fast. And also know, do your best to stay
It might burn you
present."
though.
Well, yeah, right. It's like, okay, it's gonna, but also on the other side, stay as present as you can, and really just like really move into those moments of joy, those moments of peace, and really just kind of savor that energy, because that will be that's like the fuel for your soul, what will continue just keeping you in the positive state of mind that feels best, that feels best for you in your life. And yeah, it's gonna, I go, it's getting crazy, and then the guides are like, "Oh, you wait and see."
The broader energy that I've been feeling, so like, okay, I knew it was going to feel like a crunch all the way up through the end of February. And then I felt towards the end of March, beginning of April, it was going to start opening up. But really, it's this summer where it feels like the, expansive energy really comes back. I mean, but we should start by the end of this month. We really should start feeling like we can breathe a little bit easier again. And because I mean, just February was like, that was the final, like,
Yeah.
and then we are in the now release of that.
I definitely felt that. I did.
I feel much lighter this year than I did, this time last year, which, this time last year is when we had Venus retrograde, coming right after Mars retrograde. And so it was like, whoa, like the shift of that. I mean, just the whole year last year just took us through just really, really difficult energy. And I mean, it cleared out. I mean, everything. There was like, it really did feel like just like the whole like field was torched after, you kind of got to the other side of it. So
Kid,
it's much better than that energy.
We were
like
taken down to the studs. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that it's been going for that level. I mean, for everybody, and it's just like now that we're finally at that, we can breathe. You made it through it. If you made it to this point, you made it through it. So like, and I think that's what most of us are afraid of. It's been so intense. It's like, is the ground underneath our feet yet? Like, is there something stable to stand on? And
Gosh, yeah.
it is. We're there.
You said that, and it just really struck me. Like, is the ground stable? Because we've been through so much. We really have, and And one of the things that the guides were telling me a week or two ago or whatever, they said something like, "Oh no, it's really over summer." One of the collective themes of everybody on this like committed path of healing and growth. One of the massive themes is learning to trust your life again.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and because we've been, oh my goodness, I know, whether it's me or hearing some of your stories or any clients or anybody, friends, it doesn't matter. They things have felt so unstable for a really long time.
Yeah.
And I go, okay, well, I'm really looking forward to just being able to feel as though I'm standing on even more and more solid ground. And I have no doubt that they haven't let me down yet.
Self-trust.
They
Yeah,
haven't
that
let
was
me down yet. Yeah.
I feel like that was the big point of like a lot of what we went through last year was to learn how to trust our own judgment, our own choices, our own like we can create our own life based off of like what do you actually want? Not what do other people want of you and from you.
That's right. That's right.
So I think we've covered pretty much everything that we had really discussed as far as astrology. So I do want to give space to answer questions for the viewers. So, I mean, there's just a lot of energy going on. Put your questions in the chat and we will pull cards for you and see what the tarot tea is for you.
Yeah, and I've been
And we
so
have several that were saying it was their birthdays too. So, like, we've got lots of Pisces energy here. I love that. So, happy birthday to everyone.
all these
We've got
Pisces energies.
Hope just had her birthday on the 20th of February. My birthday is tomorrow. And then we've got Venus in the chat talking about her birthday coming up. So, we've got lots of Pisces energy.
I love it. All us little water people.
We've got Soul. Let's see. Soul Chef Antonia says we were having the second Friday the 13th this month in a row. So yeah, I forgot about that. That is definitely one of the energies of this. I don't get upset about the Friday the 13th anymore. I'm not superstitious like that, but I get, where that energy comes from.
And one of the things, like, I agree. Like, I'm not. I know it's a very auspicious day, but like I'm not afraid, thank goodness. But it's one of the themes we're going to see, and I'm so glad that you brought up that Friday the 13th energies. Is the Earth Mother herself, as we know, she's going through a massive cleansing process as she moves through her own ascension, and those Friday the 13th are going to be like massive earth cleansing days. And that doesn't mean disasters or anything. It usually just means a very noticeable happening on the planet involving earth, whether it be weather, whether it be what's happening in the Arctic, what's happening with even archaeological discoveries. Those are popping up left and right all over Egypt and the Mediterranean Sea. Just things coming to light to whether she needs to cleanse it or whether it's they're filled with keys and codes to help life on Earth for the betterment. Yeah, lots going on, man.
Thank you. Thank you so much for speaking on that. Because I know that, I mean, that's traditionally it's known as a day to be kind of superstitious. And I don't know, 13 is looking different to me these days than it has before. So, okay, I've got my cards out. I'm going to use Heart's Hidden Secrets and Light Seers Tarot. We can go back and forth.
Love it.
We've got Deborah wants to know, what does Spirit want her to know right now?
This is great. And so, Jen, would you like me to I have my tarot cards, and I have actually the Gaia Oracle deck. This is the one that was speaking to me, Earth, and we could go however you want.
Okay, go ahead and pull from the Gaia.
Okay. Okay, this is for Miss Deborah. Let me shuffle once more, get a nice fresh energy for you. Whew. Cut the cards. What's up top? Ay, ay, ay. This beautiful card is Gaia.
Okay.
Beautiful Gaia. And it says wisdom, knowledge, spiritual understanding. And gosh, Deborah, what really pops off of this is your spiritual understanding, your own spiritual wisdom, maturity, the embodiment of grace in your own higher self, up even into the monadic self. You are in a pretty significant flow. I hope you're drinking lots of water. You're in a beautiful, beautiful space, totally supported by the Earth Mother, by life. And if you're into any connection to the elements or the elemental kingdom or whatever that looks like, animal totems, just so that your alignment to those energies is gorgeous right now. It really is. Yeah.
I pulled with the tarot, the Queen of Pentacles, which I think it's like the Mother Gaia energy in itself. And so definitely she's holding her own right now. With the Heart's Hidden Secrets, we have apology and second chance. So I feel like that there is someone who's probably done her wrong that's trying to come back with a second chance. Because I pulled two cards with the tarot. We've got the Six of Pentacles too, and it's about the energy exchange. So she needs to just remember who she is in this situation. She doesn't need anyone else. They're the ones who need her more than what she needs them. And like, I feel like that the reason why this is happening is because her heart is just so open and big, and they know that. And it's like they're pulling on her empathy right now. And so, like, she really needs to just it's the mother energy, but it's not like the over nurturing. It's like you've got to like the mother also knows when to discipline, like the right type of discipline. The tough love, I think that's what I'm kind of tough love. Okay.
I love
Does that make sense? I hope that that's coming through for Deborah.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got Charlotte, and she just said she would love a card.
Okay, great. Let me see. Jen, you're on the tarot. I'm going to stay with Gaia. Is that
Okay? Yeah.
okay? Let me mix one more time with the Gaia cards. Nice, fresh cards here. Let me cut these. Okay. Purification, fire. We are in big fire horse energy, charging forward with boldness and a lot of bravery, a lot of courage. And it looks like not just walking, but running toward what you want, not running away from what you don't want, really being led and guided in a gorgeous direction. And it has to do with seeing what you see, knowing what you know, and accepting higher levels of truth, whether it's this sounds kind of silly, but sometimes we even gaslight our own selves, and this is like, no, I'm seeing what's real. I know what I know. I can trust who I am, and it's time to move forward. The purification of fire. Yes. Yeah.
Give me just a second. I'm still putting together what I've got, but I mean, I am feeling like there is a connection that she needs to distance herself from, and it's going to be really hard for her to do this. With the tarot, we have the Hangman, and so I mean, she feels stuck, but this is the need to surrender. Like this is the you are holding on to something that what I'm feeling is like, okay, there's a meme where like there's a person holding on to the woman, her arm. Okay, they're getting bit she doesn't see what's happening to him. He doesn't see what's happening to her. And it's like neither one of them refuses to let go, even though they're both in pain through this. I'm going to pull one more card with the tarot, the Eight of Pentacles. And so, I mean, you've already put in so much work into this. Now it's time to kind of release, let it be, you know, just kind of what it is. I've got the Distance card. And so that's why with the purification, like she needs to bring some space into this, because it's like, it's intoxicating. That's, I mean, like the energy I'm feeling with it, it's just, it's extremely intoxicating. And so it's like she needs to pull back to get her clarity again.
Yep.
Hopefully that helps. Okay. All right. Let's see. We've got Linda. Linda says, I have seen a big change in my DM and I connection. I feel we are emotionally closer. Communication is good, not steady, but good and different. I just know good things are coming for us. So she wants information about her and her DM.
Okay. 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 Fresh cards here. Achievement. Stay focused on your dream. And so the energy on this is you've been doing such a good job holding the vision of this relationship, of the standards of this relationship, and really doing a lot of self-healing work, self-reflecting work. Keep it up. Whatever you're doing, you're moving in the right direction, and keep doing what works. This isn't a time to and this is just an example. Okay. It's not like, it's like, well, I was holding this strong boundary, and now things are fine, so I don't need to do that. It's like, nope, it's working because of what you've been doing. Please stay the course. Like that fire horse running forward. And this is a great new pattern between you and this person. Yeah. Achievement. Good job. This a lot of work went into that. Yeah.
Okay, still pulling. Let me see. Okay, so I'm getting, okay, you said achievement for her. I'm getting, like she is right about what she's seeing. She's watching everything. But I mean, I think that there's a bit of this, like she's trying to rush the process a little bit too much. It is working. It is working for her. We've got spying, conflicted, and time. And so like that's why I feel like she's rushing it a little bit, because we have the Nine of Cups. It is still good. The blessings are still coming, but it's like you're kind of watching the pot for it to boil. That's what I'm feeling. It's just like there's this anticipation. You're seeing all the little signs and they are leading you to the right place. But it's like the time part is not lined up completely just yet. So hopefully that's helpful. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move to Venus. She wants to know what her guides would like her to know that she may not be understanding. She's trying to connect with them more.
Okay. Is it okay? Like those guides just popped right in. Is it okay? I'm gonna, okay. The way you've been trying to connect with them is working. They're right here. There's two beautiful guides. One is like a lavender. One is a beautiful pink with touches of silver and gold. These are very gentle energies because they don't want to scare you or startle you. They're being kind of cute because I go, well, that their care to not startle you unduly is keeping the messages a little bit more subtle. And I go, oh, you guys, just hit her over the head with it, give her that message, give her that support. I'm gonna pick a card for you in just a minute, but the most powerful thing you can do, and perhaps it's something you're already doing, is talk to them like they are your friends, and whatever your intuition says, trust that it's true, even if it doesn't necessarily feel true. That will strengthen those connections right away, because it'll bring them closer to you, basically. Let me pick a card from these beautiful guides. You are divinely protected. I want to be real clear about that. You are never on your own or alone. The card that comes up for you, this beautiful card, Remembrance. resurfacing past emotions and feeling. What you might do, and again, this is through the filter of your guides, is when you were a lot younger and perhaps, us as children, we always go through scary things. And of course, that's how we learn and how we grow. There's an aspect of you between 5, 7, perhaps closer to 8, but really in that 5 to 7, where there's things that happen for you that caused you to really just kind of shut down. And whatever that was, you don't have to give it a ton of reflection, but whatever that was is the block between you and the guides. And so you might even say to these guides, as a matter of fact, let's say it right now. Hey, guides, whatever that was that impacted her in such a way that created blocks around whether it's her own intuition and spirituality or her connection to the higher divine, please, we have to clear that out for her because she's ready for you. She wants this beautiful connection. And and she's ready to all be friends again. And we're just going to see how all that unfolds for you. But you can see this message is strong. So that just tells me how present they truly are. Yeah.
I got that really it's that she's trying too hard. So it's like the more you're trying, it's like that's what is the confusion. That's what's muddying the channel. We've got the Lover's card as the tarot that I pulled. So it was what you wants you back. And so it's okay. Just the energy that I just kept feeling though, it's just like you're trying too hard. And it's like to the point that it frustrates you. And so like you've got to just kind of let it happen. Let it, and maybe she doesn't quite understand how this part works, like what she's trying to, because I mean, that's like, what's this experience supposed to feel like? And so maybe that's the overthinking, what's already coming through to you right now. So like, I'm feeling right now that we need to kind of explain to her, like what this piece feels like. So how, when your guides are speaking to you. And so for me, how do I know it's the guides and not just me? Okay. So, it's just the way that it comes in. And so like the way that I first started even like getting messages in is I would sit in just the quiet and just like, it was at 3 a.m. in the middle of the night, every single night I would go into my bathroom and it was just complete quiet. And I would have questions in a journal. These are the things that I want, that I'm, praying about, that I want guidance on. And then I would just sit and I would just wait until the first thing hit. And so sometimes it would be a word. And then the minute that the word hit, like words would just start flowing out and I would just start writing as fast as I could. Sometimes it would be a vision that I would see. And I would just kind of have to let the vision kind of like come together for me to start fully understanding what is the message that's trying to come through. It could be feelings, it could be memories, just all of these different ways. But it wasn't like there was this strong voice that came through that said, hey, I'm your guide and here I'm trying to get information to you. Like it started off as just little things like that, little hits like that. Yeah. And then it started revealing itself over years, of like this kind of practice where then I would get names and I would get the sensation of, okay, when this energy comes through me, this is, the guide that I'm working with, or this one is this guide that I'm working with. But it starts just like literally, it's just like sitting in the quiet and letting just the energy just kind of start flowing. So what would you add to that? Because that was what I was feeling. It's just like she kind of needs some guidance of like, what does this feel like?
God, Jen, I agree with you so much when you're, as far as is that my voice or is that their voice, or is that my voice or is that their voice? And I think that to your point, that's a little bit of what's going on. And that's why I was asking her beautiful guides, like, hey, get louder, right? like to help. Like you don't want to scare her, because sometimes when we really connect to spirit, it's like, wah, even though we want it, it's like, whoa, I'm really having a moment here. And so You might even like, this is one of the things that I did because I'm an overthinker, and I would just talk myself. I would always talk myself into, oh, well, that was just the wind, or that was just a coincidence. And I would set up like not tests, but little pieces of evidence. Like, okay, so when I see the number 248, you know, or when I see white feathers for no real reason, or you know what, flickering lights. I would pick one thing like blue butterflies, or, any consistent thing. And that way you guys are forming a trust and a signal line of communication to, number one, get you out of your head. But I love when it's like, Anne, trust the first thing that comes through. Because just like when you were in school taking a test and they said if it's multiple choice, chances are the first answer that comes to you is the one. This is true for intuition as well. And so that first one, act as if. Act as if. And because intuition is like a muscle, and the more you commit to it, and if you are committing incorrectly, more intuition will come to say, hey, I didn't say blue, I meant brown, 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 brown. Then it'll correct you. Just keep leaning in. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I love like keeping a journal. So
Yeah.
you start having proof of like, okay, here's the message I received and here is what happened. And once you start like building up a lot of proof, you stop like questioning, whether this is real or not. It doesn't even matter. Is this me or is it coming from somewhere else? It's getting me the answers I need. So it's working for me. And
That's
so
it.
I think
That's
that
it.
definitely track your progress in that. And I think that that'll help build your confidence in what you're doing too.
I love that, Jen. Yep.
Okay, we've got Soul Chef Antonia asked, I have no Pisces in my chart. What should I expect from the universe? And so, I mean, I feel like the transits that are happening right now, it doesn't matter if you're Pisces or not, you're getting hit by all of it. It's just if you do have Pisces in this, you're definitely like there's just going to be a big target on you, bigger than normal. But these things that we're talking about today, I mean, like there's nobody that's not being hit by the Aries, the Neptune, Saturn in Aries transit, the eclipse energy, and even, the equinox energy. Everybody's going to feel it in some kind of way. But we can still pull cards for her to see what.
And that's absolutely true. And maybe this is helpful. In general, what we know about Pisces energy is it's super spiritual, it's super intuitive, and it is always leaning in, moving toward a deeper connection to the divine or the higher self. And that's obviously you, right? And so that aspect of you is being triggered, propelled forward into that next higher state. And the shadow side of Pisces would be like illusion, delusion. I said that self-gaslighting thing earlier. If any of us are doing that as well, whether you are a Pisces, it's louder on the Pisces, right? Like Jen was saying, but that's true for everybody. Whatever we higher truths are coming in, and chances are, you have felt the impact of either, perhaps both, of being moved more deeply into your higher self, your spirit, your own intuition and connection, and things that you thought were true, you've learned maybe aren't, that kind of thing. Yeah. And you wanted to pick cards, so which I do. I want to too, by the way. I don't know why I said it that way. But
she did come back and say that she has strong Virgo, and Virgo is definitely connected to Pisces. It's it's the opposite energy of Pisces, and so if it's happening to Pisces, it's happening to you.
And just for fun here, give me just a second. That full moon that we had on March 3rd, that Jen and I were both speaking about it like a big old detox, that was in Virgo. And so, and again, that hit all of us, but those Virgos, it would have hit a little bit harder, letting go, releasing what used to be. And those big, it was a lunar eclipse, big full moon. We all got big keys and codes from that. Chances are they hit you a little bit harder because you're a Virgo. Yeah. I knew there was a Virgo in there somewhere. Okay. Okay, the card I picked was Goddess of Creation, Transformation, Wholeness, and Creativity. Yeah, beautiful card. Yeah, beautiful. I love the art on these cards. Yeah, it's very pretty. Yeah.
So the universe wants her to know right now with this energy. I feel like, because what I've pulled is she's not as confused as what she thinks that she is. Everything that she sees around her right now is just a reflection to show her what she wants and what she doesn't want. And so if you aren't liking the reflection, when you look in the mirror, if you don't like the reflection, you don't try to change the mirror, you change yourself. You change so that the reflection changes. So everything is just information. And so if it's causing you like a lot of stress, I mean, that's something, it's information to take in. So if this is not the reflection of how you want your life to look right now, this is your opportunity to make different changes. Again, you change you, not the reflection, not the mirror. That's how you change the reflection, is you're changing whatever you can about yourself. And I do think that like she's being heard. It's just she's got to look at this in a more realistic state, is what I'm feeling out of that. It's just everything's showing her something right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's
Did you have anything you wanted to add?
No, and then I go, well, gosh, so speaking of Goddess of Creation, right? It's about transformation, right? And creativity and wholeness. Jenn, have you ever had this experience where, maybe you've been working on something that hasn't been working, right? And you go, I'm trying to make this better, this better, this better. And you've done so much work that you just don't realize how far you've come. So you're acting as if you're not there yet.
Yes.
And there's a little bit of that energy going on as well, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that got all of the questions, and we're at the end of the hour. So do you want to pull any final energy for, looking at the month, or
Yes.
any closing lines?
Yes. Oh, my cards are so they're so happy. They're like, oh my God, pick us, pick us, pick us, pick us, use us, use us. They're very happy cards today. This is fun. Okay, I certainly do. And so I'll pick Jenn, do you mind? I'll pick one oracle card and then one tarot just to clarify it, and then I'll love to hear what you have to say. And this is just about the remaining March energies that we all will be navigating. And so let's have a look at that. Okay, I picked one card. I'm going to shuffle my tarot just one time. They're already quite shuffled. And cut that deck. Okay, here's what I have. Lost love, healing, surrender, and release. Jenn, we've had such a beautiful conversation today that I can't remember if this was before we went live or not. You had said something about how we as a collective, we're still processing out grief from all the changes we've been through, even though maybe they're good things or things that we're happy they happened. This is what this is. And with this Two of Pentacles, it's like finding stable ground as you continue to release and adapt, acclimate, integrate, moving through March. Yeah, as a little guidance, wisdom from the universe right there. Yeah, I like that. Makes
I
sense.
pulled from the Light Seers Tarot, just what is our best move forward in this energy of March? And we have the King of Wands
Yeah.
and whoops, the Two of Swords. And so the King of Wands is, I mean, just the first thing I get is just know what you know. And so move forward with the confidence of like who you are, you know who you know what you've been through, and like this is like the piece that we've got to, like, we can't keep doing this. We can't keep doing this spin. You know what you know, and you've just come too far to keep going back into that same old thought patterns. And so I think that this shift is like it's a big moment. It's like this is the moment where all that we've been through now finally makes sense. Because I mean, we see what it built in us. All right. So this has been fun. I hope that like everyone has enjoyed it. I have enjoyed it. I said I
Yeah.
wanted something that was a lot lighter. I don't want, just I want it to feel like, we're all sitting together, we're having, this conversation, all at the same table, and, we all have something to contribute here. And so I appreciate everyone for,
Yes.
supporting us in this. We do plan to be back maybe once a month right now,
Mhm.
just filling out the energy and seeing kind of what feels good. So do you have anything you want to add before we close out?
No, just thank you, Jen. I always love doing these with you. I love your energy. This is so much fun. And thanks everybody. I just as fast as I could speed read, I went through some of these beautiful comments and just yay, this was a good time. And thank you so much for joining. Yeah, this was fun.
All right. Well, we'll see y'all next
Oh,
month. Oh, wow. All right. Bye.
bye.